All right, so today is January 2nd, 2022, and I've been working on the cabin and the cabin top and the front of the cabin. So this piece has been added since the last video, and you can see the cabin top on here. It needs a little bit, it's not quite touching here. So just put a little strap on it and it'll pull in easily enough. I'll get a ratchet clamp and lock it up underneath there, and that'll make up that little bit of space, and that should smooth all that out. But basically just been sanding it down and cleaning it up, cleaning up the edges, so that I'll be running a piece of carbon fiber tape over this and filling this in with filler material. Any cracks and gaps and things will just get filled in, and carbon fiber tape over all that, sand it down, paint it. So this little bit here, this is the that sort of ridge beam that I've got running down here. It's not exactly in the center, it's offset a little bit because I'll be running a piece up along from the centerboard inside up and supporting the cabin roof, and it'll come up against that side of it, which is why I've done it like that. Once it's all covered over with carbon fiber, you won't see that anyway. And so we'll come back around here. This is the cabin sides. I've trimmed these up, neatened them up a little bit, and then done the cut the edge of the roof a little bit. So this has got a slight angle forward on this part of the cabin, and then there's a slight curve out around the back side of the cabin top. So it kind of curves around like this, and then we'll sort of swoop in like this way once I'm done with it. So I'm taking out the supporting structure that was inside because that's no longer needed. The sides are all, attached inside and out, plenty strong enough. So the top is not epoxied on yet, obviously. I'm waiting for the centerboard, and I'm going to put that in first, and then put the top on and finish that up. So the next project is to close this in a little bit. So I'll be putting a little piece on this side like this, and same sort of thing over here on this side, just to close the cabin space in a little, and also so if the boat tips over and capsizes, hopefully I can cover enough of it up so that water really doesn't come in and go into the cabin space. I'm going to put I'll have like a couple of boards that will go in on either side that will close that in even more in case of rough weather. But for the most part, I'm just going to support it a little bit here, fill that in a little bit there on that side. There's going to be a piece over the top of the cabin about 6 inches in from the edge to do two things, basically to give it a little bit more strength. So if I'm standing up on here, that gives it more strength, and the other thing it'll do is to keep any spray or water that's sliding down the cabin roof, it'll push it off. And then, like as I was saying before, there'll be a support coming from down in here, from along the edge of the centerboard trunk to up into this space here and attached to that also. So they'll be essentially supported in the middle, have support on obviously the sides and the front, and the other side, this little bit coming in here and this bit here, and then the extra bit over the top to reinforce it. So I think by the time all that's done, it'll be plenty strong enough. And the other thing I've got in here just to represent it is a couple of 4x4s, and what they're doing is you can kind of see the line in the dust here, but essentially I'm going to be I just put this as a reference line for right now, but probably about 2.5 or 3 inches in from that, like around in this area here, I'm going to have a piece that just goes across like that, so that if any water is in this cockpit area, especially if I'm sleeping up or hanging out up there in the cabin space, the bow of the boat will tend to tip down, and any rain that was landing here would tend to run into the sleeping space, which I don't want to happen. So basically I'm just going to put a little piece going across here on this side and that side, which will also serve as a support and a groove that the boards that I'm going to put in can sit on top of and then lock into these side pieces. And then I'll also have some sort of a bug screen or cloth system, probably both, that I can put up to seal it up a little bit more, cover the center opening here. So that's what I've been up to. And I think it's looking, I'm really pleased with the way it looks. I think the cabin turned out to be, a good size for the boat. It's not too huge or too small. It looks funny. The cockpit space is big enough for, 2 people to hang out. There'll be, of course, the cockpit combing that will come in here and create a nice angle for the backrest and everything. I've got a couple of boat cushions. I was sort of mocking that up with the other day, like that. So by the time I put, a couple of cushions in there, it makes for a nice place to sit and recline. And with that cushion, it's really easy to see over the cabin top, mostly protected, from wind and spray by the cabin itself. And then partly what's going to determine the size of this opening here is that right about in this area is a good distance if I was sitting here to be able to brace my foot against. So if I put in, if I'm sitting here, if this is the upwind side, for example, the boat's heeling over like this, if I sit here, I can put my left foot against this this piece that will be sitting here. That'll be the side of the back of the cabin. I'd be able to brace my foot against that and brace my other foot against the edge of the cockpit here and be quite comfortable and have a good place to put my foot for support. So I think and then the combings, will come back to around here, pretty far aft, like that. So and sort of taper off in this area. I think we'll end up looking pretty good. And that's about how high the combing will come up, just about like that seat cushion there, about 4 or 5 inches. Well, so that's it for now.